Doom is the FPS. Even in games coming out today, you can still see a trace of the original Doom. Every mainline Doom game is good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. So how do you rank them? Well, objectively, you can't, so keep in mind this list is going to be subjective. If your favorite Doom game isn't near the top, it's still absurdly good and I still love it, unless stated otherwise. Hey everyone, Jarek here. Today I'm going to be ranking every Doom game that released. There's only one rule for this video. I'm going to be treating expansions as part of their original game. So Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil is part of Doom 3, Doom Eternal's DLC is part of Doom Eternal, you get the point. In very last place, the worst Doom game of all time is Mighty Doom. Why? Why does this exist? No one asked for this. In 12th place is Doom Resurrection. Not Resurrection of Evil, just Doom Resurrection. It's a rail shooter using mostly Doom 3 assets. I know mobile games were kind of figuring out their place at the time, but it's a rail shooter. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. In 11th place, it's Doom 3 BFG Edition. Not Doom 3, just BFG Edition. BFG Edition changed Doom 3 pretty drastically, and I think for the worse. What they changed hurts the dark horror atmosphere of Doom 3. Everything is brighter, you end up getting a ton of ammo for a bunch of strong weapons, and the way the flashlight was handled is worse than just a duct tape mod. Oh, also, BFG Edition doesn't work with most Doom 3 mods, so what's the point of this thing? Unless you're buying it to play the VR mod, which is totally reasonable, because Doom 3 in VR works so well. But if you don't play in VR and you've never played Doom 3 before, I would highly recommend playing the original Doom 3 and not BFG Edition. In 10th place, we have Final Doom. I contemplated whether or not to add this as just a part of Doom 2, but ultimately decided to give it its own slot. Final Doom, realistically, is just more Doom 2, except for significantly harder. It has some new assets like new music and new textures, but again, it's just more Doom 2. Not necessarily a bad thing if that's what you want, but the difficulty may or may not scare you away. In 9th place, we have Doom RPG. Yeah, this is a thing that happened back in 2005. This is a turn-based dungeon crawler on your phone in 2005. That's the same year that Fear came out. Who won the NBA championship in 2005? Okay, the Spurs did, because of course they did. That doesn't help at all giving you a time frame. But they were playing against the Pistons, so that may help. My point is, this is really early for a good mobile game. As I mentioned, it's a turn-based Doom dungeon crawler with very simplified RPG mechanics. When you level up, you don't choose where to put your stats, it kind of just does all this stuff for you. Doom RPG had a good reception, almost reaching 90%. People did really like it. In 8th place, it's Doom 2 RPG. Came out 5 years later. Even released on the Windows Phone. Man, I forgot about that. This is the sequel to Doom RPG. It's more or less just a bigger version of that game. What's amazing is that Doom RPG and Doom RPG 2 got ported to PC. Not as official ports, but totally reverse engineered. Free to play. I haven't made a video of these games, and maybe I should. I'm not sure how interested people would be, so let me know. Alright, from here on out, we're firmly in Video Game Hall of Fame territory. All of these games are some of my favorite of all time. In 7th place, it's Doom 2016. I really struggled figuring out where I wanted to put this game. I loved it when it came out, and I still listen to its music. This was one of those games in the forefront of that boomer shooter evolution. Just as so many games were inspired by the original Doom, we've seen tons of games be inspired by Doom 2016. Obviously, Doom 2016 didn't start the new boomer shooter trend, but it was all in on it. Doom 2016 wasn't aiming to be just more Quake, it was aiming to be an evolution of that style of game. Needless to say, it did exactly what it wanted. The reason it's not higher on this list is because of a game I'll talk about later. In 6th place, Doom 1, the original first-person shooter. There were FPS games before Doom, yes, but it had such a cultural impact that almost every first-person shooter that came out after the original Doom was just called a Doom clone. Obviously not news today, but it speaks volumes to how much of an impact this game had. What's more amazing is how well Doom has aged. It's still fun to go back and play today. Hell, even graphically, I would argue that the sprites and art style of the original Doom aged better than the early 3D games that we're seeing in boomer shooter revivals. Not taking any shots, that's 100% a subjective opinion, but Doom definitely has a unique look. A unique look that parents really didn't like at the time, but unfortunately for them, it stuck around. Everywhere. Your PC, your Switch, your thermostat, your calculator, your pregnancy test, you're never getting rid of Doom. In 5th place, it's Doom 2. Yeah, I kind of just look at Doom 2 as a bigger, better version of Doom 1, and it comes with the super shotgun. That's big enough for an improvement right there. I don't have too much more to say that I haven't already said about Doom 1, so what I will say is that it's so relevant even today that we're still seeing tons of games on the GZ Doom engine. I know it's not technically the original Doom engine, but you get my point. I don't know what it is, but Doom just nailed that feel of gunplay in such a primitive engine far better than anything else of its time. 4th place, Doom 64. Doom 64 was misunderstood for quite a long time, even by me. For the longest time, I thought Doom 64 was just Doom 1 and 2 ported to the N64, but no. This is an entirely new game. It definitely doesn't help that at the time, everyone was so focused on pushing to 3D that another 2D game using sprites didn't interest a lot of people. For the most part, I feel like this game was forgotten by the general population, or they just didn't know about it until a couple of years ago. Nowadays, people seem to love this game, and I don't blame them. It's number 4 on my list. This game went all in on that horror atmosphere that Doom 1 and 2 dabbled in. All the sprites were different, the maps were different, it just had a different feel, but still was obviously Doom. If you haven't played Doom 64, they did re-release Doom 64 when Doom Eternal came out, so I would highly recommend playing. For 3rd place, well, it's not really 3rd place, it's more going to be an honorable mention. That's Brutal Doom. This is not an official Doom game, so it doesn't really deserve its own spot, but it's had so much of an impact on the modding scene that I had to mention it. Remember what I said about the Doom engine nailing gunplay? Yeah, well, Brutal Doom dials this up to 11. This only leaves 2 games left for our top spots, and at number 2, it's Doom 3. Doom 3 is nothing like the other Doom games, but I love this feel. At the time, the market was chasing more of an immersive style of first-person shooter. They weren't looking to be the fastest, most action-packed thing you had ever seen. They were wanting a believable environment, a believable place, realistic lighting, pushing graphical enhancements forward. And Doom 3 certainly delivered all of that. Whether you liked it or not was a different situation. I feel like most people liked this game, but the people that didn't are just very loud. It's definitely a product of its time, but as someone that loves that generation of games, I can't help but put this down as one of my favorite games of all time. And that's not even a cop-out. It did exactly what it aimed to do. Aside from being scary, yeah, the atmosphere is fantastic and it has some awesome set pieces, but I can't exactly feel like I was really scared. Oh no, this imp popped out of me. Whatever shall I do with this shotgun? The shotgun that is definitely good and not bad. Everything is within 15 feet. Just get in their face and one-shot them. It's not bad. I will stand by that. By the way, shotgun's bad. But of course, this leaves only one game. Whether or not Doom 3 or Doom Eternal is my favorite Doom game kind of depends on my mood, but I really can't make the argument that Doom Eternal isn't one of the most refined first-person shooters I have ever played in my life. See, most of the time I'm in the mood for something a bit slower like Doom 3. That's why I push Half-Life so much. I love that style of game. But when I'm in the mood and have the energy to focus on everything happening around me and I want a game to push me, Doom Eternal is that game. Doom Eternal is why Doom 2016 is so low on this list. It does everything that Doom 2016 did, but significantly better. And I feel so strongly about this that I feel like they're just objective improvements to its format. You are forced to use every gun in the game. You can't get along with just using the shotgun anymore. You need to move, you need to adapt. This is the evolution of what the style of shooter should be. And no, you're never locked into using a specific weapon or a specific solution. Yes, you can shoot a bomb at that cacodemon, but there's also plenty of other solutions as well. There is so much player expression in Doom Eternal that you don't see at first, but at some point it clicks, and now you're hooked. It's too late, this is your game. And there you go. There's my list ranking the worst Doom games to the best. Huge thanks to my YouTube members, they get to see my videos early. Also huge thanks to my Twitch followers, it's more fun hanging out and talking over there. It's easier than through YouTube comments. There's a link in the bottom right if you want to come hang out over there. For the rest of you, thank you so much for watching this video.